Welcome to Win with Money. My name is Jared Briggs. I am the host, and you guys, I'm excited about this. This has been, you can see Real You episodes. There's like 146 episodes. This is new. Win with Money this is episode number 1. We are starting completely fresh, and this is, guys, this is it. This is what I'm excited about. This is what I have been working towards for the last 10 plus years to figure out what it is that I want to do, what it is that I want to build, how it is that I want to help people, and the problems that I see and the solutions that are going to help them. Let's just be honest. We all want to make more money. We all want to have better financial security in our life. We all want to be able to provide for our family. We want to have more money than month. We want to be able to buy the homes and go on vacation and drive the vehicles. You guys, these are good things. These are really good things. And these have been the desires that I've had in my life. I have wanted to figure out what money is, how money works, and what to do with money. And that has been the pursuit that I've been on for my entire life, really. And I want to go back to kind of where I was and where all this comes from. Growing up, you guys, I have really good parents, really good people, but like the rest of us, they weren't taught much about money, what to do with money and how to manage it and how to create whatever form of wealth it is. See, that's one thing, you guys, is you need to define for you, what is wealth? What does that mean? Because to me, wealth is more than just having money. Wealth is good relationships. Wealth is having a good, clean, comfortable home, good vehicles to drive, money in the bank, good fitness, good everything. Like wealth is all encompassing. And that's, I feel like, is a natural desire for a lot of people. And growing up, I wasn't taught about money. I had very little knowledge and information about money. Like, guys, I'm slightly embarrassed to say when I graduated high school, I really didn't even understand how to balance a checkbook or how to really manage my bank account. I was just thrown into it. I was like, okay, cool. Now I've got car insurance and I've got rent I've got to pay and a car payment. And I was like, how do I even pay bills, right? Like I had to learn from the very beginning. I didn't even know how to pay bills. And I remember buying car insurance because of my mom and dad's situation. I was like, hey, I'll go get it on my own, pay for it myself, and all those things. And I remember like setting this stuff up thinking, gosh, what the heck, how do I do this? Do I gotta write you guys a check? Do I gotta pay on a credit card? Do I gotta pay on my debit card? Do I gotta go get the money and bring it to you? How do I even pay bills? And so that's where I started, you guys. I didn't know what money was, what to do with it, how to manage it. I knew nothing. And I graduated high school and I remember thinking, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna figure out how to create financial wealth. I'm gonna figure out, in whatever form or fashion that is. There's a lot of people on social media saying, you guys need to go make millions, you need to do this, you need to do this. Maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you're like, man, if I could just make 100,000 a year, if I could make 75,000 a year, if I could make 200,000 a year, if I could make $1 million a year, you guys, it doesn't matter. All principles of money are the exact same. And so back then I'm like, I'm going to figure out who it is I have to become and what I've got to do to provide a good lifestyle for my family. That was a mission of mine. I wasn't married. I was still single, but I wanted to start prepping myself to learn money. And so right out of high school, I got a job literally days after high school out in the oil field. I graduated on Friday. That next Monday, I was working out in the oil field. Got a job, and I think I started at like 15 or 18 bucks an hour. Like, it was really good, especially back in 2012, and started making pretty good money. But I didn't know what to do with it. Literally, I just got the money in my bank account, and then I just bought and did, and I just lived. Like, that's the only thing I knew what to do or how to do it. I just lived. And I remember being super frustrated. My rent, I lived with family. My rent was $200 a month. I eventually bought a truck. My truck payment was $316 a month? Maybe a little bit more than that, something like that, $300 and something a month. and then groceries and car insurance and a few things like that. You guys, I could live pretty well for $1,000 a month, and I was making more than that. And it wasn't like I was doing anything crazy. I wasn't going on trips and buying all these cool things and all that. I was just living, but my money had no purpose. I had no plan. I just lived. And I remember thinking all the time, where in the freaking heck is my money going? I'm like, I'm making way more than I'm spending, I feel like my expenses are a lot less than what I'm making. I'm doing pretty good for an 18-year-old kid still in freaking braces, right? Like I was still in braces. I graduated high school. I was supposed to only have them a couple years, and that went way longer. But I was still in braces working, making $15, $18 an hour, doing really well. But you guys, I didn't have any money at the end of the month to show for it. And so I got this idea. I studied Dave Ramsey. I studied a bunch of other financial things. So I got this idea. I was like, okay, I'm going to start pulling cash out, and I'm going to save my money in cash. And I remember under the mattress in the bedroom that I lived in, I was like, I'm going to stash the cash in there. I didn't even put it in an envelope. Like it was just, $100 bills and $50 bills and $20 bills and tens and fives and ones. And it was just this pile of money building up. And crazy thing is I was pulling, a couple $100 a month out, but there were times where I would still have to get under my mattress to grab some cash to pay for some things or go do some things, or maybe I was going to go eat or whatever that, right? And I'm like, what the freak is going on? Like I'm making plenty of money. Why am I having to pull from my reserve? Like what is going on? And I remember there was one time, when you lift something, like even like this piece of paper or this book, if I put it down, it creates kind of a little draft, right? So if there were some papers, like dollar bills under here, and I slammed it down, maybe the top one would like blow. And I remember one time I lifted the mattress up, looked at the money, grabbed the money, and put it down. And then it was a couple days later after that, I lift the mattress up again, and I knew exactly how much I had, and I counted it, and I was missing, I think I was missing like $40 or $60 or something. I'm like, what the freak? Is somebody coming in and stealing my money? It's ridiculous. I was hiding money under my mattress because I couldn't figure out where it was going, and I thought that would help me understand where my money was going. And so I kind of look around, and I crawl under the bed, and I look under, and I recount it, and I'm just kind of freaking out. I'm like, where the heck is my money going? And I lift the mattress higher, and it kind of created a draft and blew under there. And I was like, gosh, this probably isn't the best place to keep money, is under a mattress. And you guys, I hate to say it, but in that moment, at that time of my life, I didn't figure out what I understand now. And so I ended up going on an LDS mission for my church. And in those 2 years, I served from November of 2013 to November of 2015. And you live on no money. So my money life, I saved money. I lived on way less than what they actually gave us, which is freaking crazy right now to think about. And come home. So I come home, and I got married 9 months later to my beautiful, wonderful, wonderful wife, Reagan. Well, you guys, I come home, and before I even got married, I remember I was home days, and I started reading financial books again. And I'm here to say, Dave Ramsey was some of the books that I read. And there were some of the things in there that I was like, gosh, I like this, but I don't like it. For some reason, it just doesn't 100% click with me. And I just kept studying those things and studying and studying and studying. And I get married, and I was like, hey, I got to figure this thing out. And I come across the book called The Richest Man in Babylon. And then I also come across a book called The Secret of the Millionaire Mind. And then now we're into 2016, podcasts and YouTube channels and these things, they're starting to grow, right? Especially podcasts and YouTube channels. And so I started studying finance through Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and podcasts. And I just started studying money, and I kept hearing this concept: pay yourself first, pay yourself first, pay yourself first, pay yourself first. And I'm like, what does this really even mean? And so in The Richest Man in Babylon, they go into a little bit more detail, and they talk about it and how they actually did it and what they did. And in this moment, so it's 2016, first part of 2017, you guys, I'm making less than $1,000 a month. Newly married, only been married months. My wife isn't working. She's going to school full time, and I'm making less than $1,000 a month. Our rent in Logan, Utah, it was actually in Smithfield, Utah, was $550 a month. And then we had, groceries and just some other little expenses there. So we could make it, but it was tight. And so I'm learning all these things. And I'm like, I want to create wealth. I want to get on top of my finances. I want to know what money is, how money works, and what to do with it. Like this is a must. Like I have to. You guys, I was ruthless in studying these things. I mean, ask my wife. I was constantly thinking about it and talking about it and looking at it. And like, okay, how the heck are we going to accomplish this? How are we going to get to where we're just surviving? What are the things that we got to start doing right now? Even though we're not making much money, what do we got to do start doing right now so that when we are making more money, it works? Like we know what to do with it. Because that was my frustration, is I was so frustrated that I didn't know where my money was going. I wasn't spending on stupid things. We weren't going on vacations we couldn't afford. We weren't doing any of those things. We were just living a very simple life. Going and seeing our parents, helping them with stuff, living, going to school, working. We didn't have any Netflix subscriptions, nothing. Like I'm telling you guys, our finances were as basic as they can get because I'm in this mindset. Like I was so aggressive with it, you guys. I instilled scarcity into my wife. And I'm ashamed to say this at this moment because my wife, she didn't experience those things like I did. A lot of the financial struggle that I experienced growing up. And so she just kind of had to like, oh, we just, we have money and we go do things. And she doesn't come from lots of money. She just had a way different mindset around money. And so like, I was like, we don't spend money. We only save. We da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like I was crazy with it. And I would honestly kind of get frustrated sometimes when she'd buy things. Like I remember this one time, my business finally started making a little bit of money. And she had this little project she wanted to do. And she went and bought a hot glue gun. Is that what that is? A hot glue gun. She bought this hot glue gun for just this simple little project. And it was like $20 or something. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, I had this thing and I need to finish it. And I was with my mom and, so we just bought it. And I'm like, $20? Like what? Use freaking tape. Like we have tape, right? Like guys, this was the mindset I was in. I lived in complete fear. And I'm ashamed to say that. And I'm happy that I've gotten out of that. I'm very grateful for that. There was one time my wife wanted a funnel cake at a little fair thing we went up by Bear Lake, Utah, Garden City, Utah, for those of you not around this area. And they were like, she's like, I want a funnel cake. So we went up there and the lady's like $8. I'm like, no way am I paying $8 for freaking flour and water. And another moment that I was ashamed. I've made up for it, you guys, I promise you. I've apologized to my wife. I don't live in scarcity anymore. We live to experience. We spend money to invest into experiences. Like I've got a completely different mindset. But this is where I was. This is what I experienced. I didn't know what to do with money. I didn't hardly know how to make money. I didn't know how to invest money. I didn't know how to manage money. I didn't know how to save money. All I knew how to do was I get paid, it goes into my bank account, I pay bills, and hopefully I can put some money away. Hopefully I can save some stuff. And guys, I didn't understand credit. I didn't understand credit cards. I didn't understand loans. I didn't understand mortgages. I didn't understand car loans. I didn't understand interest. I didn't understand health insurance. I didn't understand car insurance. All these things were just expenses to me. They were just these freaking annoying expenses. And now in my profession, what I've done for the last almost 8 years helping people with their insurance, I see that in people. The complete like, no, I don't want to buy that stuff because it's just an expense. I get it. You guys, I lived in so much fear and scarcity and frustration when it came to money. And so I'm in this moment of studying things. Well, like I said, I didn't really vibe with Dave Ramsey. Like I'm going to be 100% honest. There are principles and things that he teaches that I like and that I think are a good thing. And there's some people in some situations where, yeah, Dave Ramsey is probably the right fit for you guys. But I want to build a very specific lifestyle. And the lifestyle that Dave Ramsey, talks about and coaches, I'm like, this just doesn't fit. It just doesn't vibe. It doesn't give me the energy I want to get. And so I'm like, well, what if I started studying multiple things? And so that's where all these books and other podcasts come in. And so this whole principle of pay yourself first, I told you guys, it just kept coming up and coming up and coming up. And I finally remember, like, what does this mean? Pay yourself first. And in there, it talks about how we spend so much of our time working to go earn money. Whether you have a W-2 job, whether you're 1099 independent salesperson or independent contractor, whether you own your own business, whether you have passive income, whether you sell drugs, like, doesn't freaking matter, right? Like, making money. But then pay yourself first. Because we've been taught, like, okay, make money, pay your bills, then, hopefully there's some things after. Pay yourself first. What does that mean? So I started looking at it, and I said, okay, what would it look like if I applied this? I get paid my $800 or $900 or $1,000, whatever I make for that month. And what if I paid myself first? Exactly what they're saying. I'm like, am I overcomplicating this? What if I open a savings account, labeled it something specific, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to pay myself $25. Then I'm going to pay our rent. Then I'm going to pay our tithing. Then I'm going to pay, the other expenses, and then make sure there's some money for, date night and fuel and all those other expenses. And at this point, you guys, I only used a debit card. We didn't have a credit card. We only had a debit card. My wife and I are on one account. Right when we got married, we did that. We closed her account. Mine had a lot more history. It had been open for like 5-6 years longer. I liked that bank a little bit more, and I liked how to manage it. And I was like, hey, I'm going to manage the finances. I like this kind of stuff. She's like, cool, have at it. So we completely closed her account, put her on my account, got joint debit cards. Boom, here we go. And so I see this moment of paying myself first, and I'm like, gosh dang, like, we're tight right now. Like, how's this going to work? And I'm like, talks about it in the book. I'm going to do it. And so I said, first month, I'm going to save, I'm going to pay myself $25. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with $25. I don't know where that's going to go, what's going to happen with it, but I'm going to pay myself $25. So I opened the savings account, and I just labeled it like savings or emergency fund. I just labeled it to where it's like, hey, this isn't for going out to eat. This isn't for groceries. This isn't for nothing. This is just literally, we are saving, and this is our saving to invest for the future. Okay? And I was like, if I'm going to do this, I've got to do it. Like, I've got, like, this money is only for investing and growing. That's it. So the first month, I don't remember what month it was, you guys. I opened that savings account, and I paid myself $25. I put it into that savings account, and then I paid rent, and I paid tithing, and I paid all those other things. And by the end of the month, I was like, whoa, nothing changed. We still had the same amount of money. We were still like, crap, how are we going to do this? I need to make more money, right? We were, nothing had changed. We still did our date nights. We didn't miss out on anything. Now, it wasn't lavish or extravagant or wonderful or beautiful, I mean, it was basic. We stayed very basic. But we pretty much had the exact same month as the month before, but I removed $25 from the equation. And I was like, that was interesting. And it talks about it in these books, especially The Richest Man in Babylon. So I said, all right, let's do it again. Next month, get paid, boom, $25. Same thing. Nothing changed. We still operated the same way. So then I started creating this game within my own mind. I was like, whoa, this kind of works. Like, we don't even make $1,000 a month, and we're saving $25 a month because we are giving that money purpose. We are managing that. So I literally just started breaking everything down. I took an Excel sheet, or probably a Google sheet, Excel sheet, whatever was on my computer. They both operate the same way. And I created, here's our expenses. Here's what we want to save. Here's the money. And I just created this very simple sheet where it put me in charge. And within the first month, 2 months, I'm like, wow, I already feel so much better because I know, K-N-O-W, I know where our money is going. I know exactly where our money is going. We put 25 here. We pay our rent here. It costs $550. We got this, this, and this, and then there's this much left over. That's our fuel and our groceries and all these other things that we got to do, right? We've got to operate within this moment. But the first thing is I told my money what to do. So then I started creating a game. You guys, I got hooked. And I was like, what if I did 30? Could we take another $5 out, save and invest that into that account? Could we do it? I did it. Same thing. Nothing different. It worked. We put the money away. We operated the same. We still paid our bills. We still did our date nights. We still did all those other things that we did. And I'm like, whoa. All right. Game time. Could I do 35? Could I do 40? Could I do 50? Could I do 55? Could I keep going? And you guys, I kept challenging myself. And it was amazing in this moment because I got so good and so disciplined that at managing our money, like, ooh, bam, I knew exactly. The money hit the bank account and I was excited. Where before I dreaded, I was like, gosh dang, how are we gonna make this work? How are we gonna make this happen? I got excited because I was like, bam, 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 bam. Put it into the savings account, pay our tithing, pay our rent, live, boom, next month. Over and over and over again. And I kept challenging myself. How much could we get to? Will it become, like I told you, become this game? Well, then next thing you know, my wife's doing so good at school that she's getting scholarships. So we're not using any of our savings. We already had a savings account. This is the interesting thing, you guys. We already had a savings account of $20,000 plus. That was my wife's money when we got married. Her parents did some really cool things, so she had this money, but it was for the purpose of school. Well, we didn't use it because she was getting so many scholarships. And so this money was just sitting there, but we would not touch it. That was something I'm so grateful for. And something all of you guys need to learn is discipline with money. Like that money is only for that purpose, and that is it. I don't freaking care if you want that new thing at the store, or you need the new iPhone, or you need this, this, and this. You have to have a I can't think of the word, no negotiation. That money is for that purpose only. And so that account was for school. It was for her school. Well, I'm doing this and I'm applying this game. You guys, around the year mark, I look in the savings account that I was paying this 25, 30, 35, 40 into, and there's about $1,000 around the year mark. And I'm like, holy crap. So that tells you that grew. That grew significantly. And the cool part about it is my wife ended up getting an intern job where they were like, hey, it's pretty much a part of your class. We want you to come work in the lab as like an intern person. And they paid her pretty decent. I mean, really good actually for the amount of hours she put in. And so instantly that doubled our income. So she's going to school and then just helping with these research things, getting paid. Then it turned into like pretty much a full-time job for the last like 2 or 3 years. Well, I had built this system to where I was like, whoa, we just doubled our income pretty much. Like we're still tight, but I'm like, I'm gonna apply this principle even more. Instead of increasing our lifestyle, increasing all those things, I'm gonna put more. And so you guys, they got to the point where it was hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month being put into this account. Then I ended up buying a truck and we did some things because my income started growing. You know, I went from making $1,000 a month to, $1,500 to $2,000 to $2,500 to $3,000 plus, she was making, her $1,500 or $1,600 a month. So I'm telling you guys, like some of you couples and you individuals, you guys are making way more money than my wife and I did. And we still did it. We still put money in savings. We still accomplished all of these things. We still accomplished them. And so we just increased that. And I'm here to tell you guys, we eventually got to the point where we kept our expenses really low. We had really, really cheap rent. We ended up moving into Logan to an apartment, but it was only $150 more a month. We had to cover more of our utilities, but it was only $150 more, way more room, way better living situation. And so we increased some of our expenses, but we still kept them really low. And we got to the point where we were putting the highest I got to at one point that I remember, because on my sheet it told me, was 33% of our income was going into these savings accounts. And we grew not that $20,000 account that my wife had. We grew all these other accounts. We started creating purpose for these monies, for this money. You guys, those accounts, multiple of them got over $10,000. Multiple of them. And we weren't even making $10,000 a month. Like, you guys, together we were making, $40,000 to $50,000 a year together. And we were putting a lot of money away every single year. And we just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And then my business started doing better, and I applied the same principles into my business, where I didn't pay myself what I was making. I still kept my salary so that my business income was higher. I kept myself lower so I could keep investing back in and growing and growing and growing, which eventually over time was like, hey, my business is doing better. I'm gonna give myself a $250 raise per month. And we just kept doing that and doing that and doing that for, you guys, 5-6 years. When my wife was finishing up her undergrad and her master's degree before we had kids, we just went crazy on being very disciplined. And I was very, very disciplined on giving every dollar a purpose. You guys, for years and years and years now, I have never wondered where our money is going. I have never not made a payment. We have never not paid off. Now we use credit cards. We have never not paid our credit card off in full. We have never not wondered where our money was and what was happening, what was going. You guys, this system, you see, this is the whole purpose of Win with Money, is because so many people are like, man, I got to learn how to make more money, or I got to figure out how to get a raise at work. That's not going to solve your problem. You're literally just going to increase your lifestyle. You're like, oh, I got a $2 raise. Oh, I can stop the gas station, spend $10. Or I can go do this, and I can do this, and I can do this. Next thing you know, you've spent what you got in raises. More money is never going to solve your problem. If you can't manage $1,000, what makes you think you can manage $10,000 or $8,000 or $6,000 or $5,000 or $4,000, wherever you are? If you're making $3,000 a month right now, and you're like, man, if I could just get to $3,500, that ain't gonna solve your problem. You're not gonna be like, oh, then I could save $500. You guys, you have to learn how to manage your money instead of your money managing you. This is what I'm trying to share here. This is why I just shared that whole story, is because my wife and I went from, oh, here's the money, hopefully there's some stuff at the end, to we are going to tell our money what to do. Every dollar is going to have a purpose and a plan. These are the things that we're working towards. This is what we want to put savings for. This is the purpose and the plan of every time we earn a dollar, it has a plan and a purpose. That is what works. That is, you guys, it works incredibly well. It is so simple. You want to know one honest truth? You could ask my wife. In creating the course that I've created, in putting out, changing the podcast to Win with Money, to putting out content and information to help with this, I have told my wife so many times that I almost feel ridiculous in a way, because I'm like, this is so simple. I feel like I'm almost not even teaching something. Yet it's mind-blowing for most people. And that's what I got to go back to, because it was for me too. You guys, when it was working, I was just like, what the heck is going on? How is this working? We're not making any more money. Nothing's better or different, but still we saved $25. We saved $35. We saved $50. We saved, and we just kept increasing. I'm like, how is this working? This is incredible. And I'm here to say, and I'm so grateful that I manage all the finances. And if you're married, you're probably going to have one spouse that's maybe more into it and wants to do it, or whatever. Maybe you do it together, whatever it is. But I'm so happy to sit here before you and say that I have changed my scarcity mindset and my fear. I don't worry about earning money. We never have a moment where we're like, man, how are we going to do this month? There's way more month than money. We're out of money. What are we going to do? We got to put it on credit. We've never had that moment. And I'm so happy to say, you guys, there's been moments, a couple times a year, where my wife will be like, hey, we're good, right? And I'm like, I mean, you got a problem with me? She's like, no, I mean financially. I thought we were gonna get into it, right? She's like, no, financially. And I'm like, yeah, we're good. Like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, I haven't logged in the bank account for a while. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're good. We're good. And she's like, oh, cool. I just spent some money or did some stuff. And I'm like, cool. Cool. Because that was a desire of mine. My desire was for my wife to go do the things that she wanted to do. I didn't want to have to be on a leash and my wife be on a leash. And if we need something or she wants to do something or go buy the kids some clothes or something, it's not like, crap, can we afford this? My whole goal has been to create and build myself into the man, the husband, and the provider that could provide a lifestyle where she could have the home and have her vehicle and be able to buy and do the things that she wanted to do. Now, are we at a moment to where she could go spend 20 grand a month? No. But if she wants a funnel cake, buy the funnel cake. Buy 2 funnel cakes. You want to go buy a hot gun glue? Go for it. Go for it. It wasn't like that at the beginning. We were still very, very disciplined. But we've grown into a position to where now we are so disciplined with our money. We know exactly where every dollar is going. And we save first. You guys, our savings and our investing and businesses and everything that we're working towards, we do that first. So then we look at our expenses and things. We went on a trip to South Carolina in March. And we looked at the money that we had saved up and we found this really, really nice luxury hotel. And we're like, sweet, let's do it. It didn't change our finances in any way because we had planned and had purpose and structure and all of these things. You know, we used our credit card points for a bunch of stuff, so that saved us a bunch of money. Like there's this whole strategy of stuff. And this is what I want to share with you guys. If you want to become financially secure, if you want to achieve your financial goals and your dreams, it has to be in these disciplines. More money isn't going to solve your problems. You have to become a good steward of your money and telling your money what to do. You need to manage your money instead of your money managing you. You tell it what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And then from there, you guys set up the system. You can start adding pieces, adding the credit card, adding how to leverage debt in a good way. There's good ways and there's bad ways. You know, taxes, how to mitigate taxes and save money on taxes, how to, build a home or buy your dream home, how to navigate through all these interest rates and all these crazy things. You guys, I'm 30 years old. It is so much different for us than it was for our parents and our grandparents. It's way different. The way that it worked for them, it's not working for my wife now. We've had to get creative. You guys, we got very creative in custom building our dream, not our dream home, but building our home that we have now. We had to get very creative in it. We built when material was the highest, and we closed at a 6% interest rate. Bugger, right? Like, it's a complete bugger, but we were still in a financial position to where it's like, cool, we can still do it because we are so good at our money. I can't say it enough. That if you guys want to accomplish this, you've got to stop looking at how can I make more money for a moment. And you got to start, okay, how can I manage what I have now? And I want to use this explanation. I have a 3-year-old daughter. And so I look at her. There's some times where maybe she's eating strawberries or ice cream or some of these things, right? And she wants more. And I look over at her plate and there's still strawberries or ice cream or food or whatever, and I'm like, hey, eat what you have. If you eat what you have, I will get you more. I will get you blueberries and strawberries and apples and fruit snack and whatever it is that you want. That's not the problem. The problem is you've got food on your plate still. Like, why would I go cut up more strawberries for you to take one bite out of and then sit back down with the plate? I share that for this reason. Why would God give you more money if you don't even know what to do with the money that you have now? That reality slapped me in the face. I read that somewhere, listened to it. You guys, I consume so much personal development content and educational content. I have no clue where it came from. But I heard that one time. Why would God bless you with more money? Why would God give you more money if you don't even know what to do with it now, if you aren't a good manager or steward of it now. And so I looked at that and said, wow, I'm going to become really, really good with what it is that I have now and prove that I'm capable of more. I'm going to prove that to God, to the universe, to money, to energy, to investments, to all of these things, I'm good. Because this is a principle that I finally understood. There's a lot of stuff on mindset. We're not going to go 100% into it right here. There's a lot more coming. But money is energy. This mic is energy. This pen that I'm holding in my hand is energy. These headphones, you guys, everything is energy. It's molecules and all. I am not a scientist, but it's all this stuff vibrating. And so it's energy. And I learned this principle about money, that if you don't manage your money, it will go find somebody else that does. And I'm here to tell you that things continue to grow and expand in my life and my married life between my wife and I in ways that we can't explain. That job that my wife got and the way that my business has grown and how we were able to build our home. And there's so many things when we literally sit down and look at it on paper. I'm like, on paper, this makes no sense, but it worked and we made it happen. And I truly believe it's because of the principle of energy, that if you give money good energy and you tell it what to do, when to do it, where to go, how to invest it, like you are a steward of that money, it will multiply and grow and you will attract more into your life. You guys, I truly believe this. And I'm not talking voodoo crap and all these things. Like I truly believe because I've experienced it. My wife and I have both experienced it. There's things that we can't explain financially, and it just continues to grow and expand. So what I would advise all of you is you need to get very crystal clear on where you are financially. These are the things that I would advise you to do, whether it's on a sheet of paper, whether it's an Excel sheet, wherever. You need to like physically write it down and see. I want you to figure out what is your income. What is your income? If you're married, you and your spouses. Figure it for that month, and you need to do this every month. Type it in, put it in the system. This is the whole financial system that I have. I can give it to you guys, like it's available, okay? But you need to know how much money you're making, you and your spouse, or just you. In every form, maybe you have a side hustle, maybe you've got a side business, maybe you've got something that creates money outside of your job situation. All income, every penny that you collect every single month between you and a spouse, just you, whatever your situation is, you need to know that. Then you need to know what your fixed expenses are. Rent, mortgage, car payments, those things that are always the exact same. Everything, you guys, your Netflix subscription, every expense that you have that's fixed. And what I mean by fixed is that is a payment that stays the same. Maybe it changes here and there, but like your car payment or student loan or personal loan or mortgage or rent or internet, like some of those things that it's like, yep, 125 a month. Yep, that one's 97 a month. Yep. Like you know what it is, right? That's the next thing you need to list. Is what are your fixed expenses? Then you need to understand your variable expenses. Those are the things that change. Maybe water, gas, garbage, internet, all your utilities, fuel, groceries, all of those things. And I get it, you guys. It's hard. No month is the same, right? I say this all the time. It seems like in our house, we run out of toilet paper, paper towels, Kleenexes, paper plates, paper bowls, all those things that we use, like that we have, we run out of every single one of those the same month. And so then it's like $300 at Sam's Club or whatever, right? I get it. It is so hard to plan for, but get the best situation and idea you can. Like what on a statistic basis, what are your variable expenses per month? Then from there, what do you want to accomplish in the next year? What would you maybe like to pay off? How much money would you like to save? What would you like to work towards? And you create a plan to label those accounts in your savings accounts. Okay, you guys, there's checking and savings. Well, in the bank, credit union place where I bank, you can open as many savings accounts as you want. So I literally have one in my wife's name, my name, emergency fund, investment, da 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 da. Okay, whatever. So if your goal is to buy a house, excuse me, if your goal is to buy a house, you're gonna label one of those house, and you're gonna put money into that account every month, even if it's $25 a month. I don't care if it's $5. I don't care if it's 10. You've got to start telling your money what to do. I don't care how small it is, you guys. I started with 25. Who would have thought 25 would turn into what it is today? Okay? But you're going to get really specific with what it is that you want to accomplish. And then you are going to balance your income and your fixed expenses and your variable expenses based on the things you want to accomplish. And you're going to fill in those things you want to accomplish 100, 200, 300, 400, however much money, and you are going to pay those things. Then you're going to pay your fixed and variable expenses. That is a massive, incredibly simple secret to success. You guys, my mission here is to create the new way with money. I'm going to take all the things that have worked in the past hundreds of years into the modern time. That's one thing I struggle with a lot of these educational people about finances. They still operate like they did 50 years ago. Beans and rice. You can only eat beans and rice. No credit cards. Like, what the freak are we even talking about, you guys? We can only invest in 401ks and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, what the freak are we even talking about? There is so much new, like, guys, we can't even fathom how much different financial capabilities we have. Like the stuff we have access to, our grandparents and great-grandparents, when they were our age, they didn't even have 10% of the access that we have now because of the internet, because of our phones, because of our computers. So why operate like our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents? Like, why are we still operating the same way? That's what I've done. I'm like, told my wife, I'm like, hey, all this other crap isn't working. We're gonna take all these pieces and components of what has worked, and we're gonna modernize it. We're gonna put it into our own system, and we're gonna use the technology. You know, if you're way interested in investing in crypto, cool. Put that into your plan. I want to put $50 a month into crypto. Cool. Do it. Put it into your savings and investing in your whole planning. Start telling, that's part of it. You guys, there is a way to cover all of your expenses, to live very good, and all your wants and desires. There is a way for you to accomplish it now. That was my goal. I wasn't going to wait till I was 65 years old to enjoy my money. It's not going to happen. That's not a part of what it is that I want to do or what it is that I want to be. And so this system allows you to take care of all your expenses and plan for the things that you want today and the future. Like, you can have your cake and you can eat it too with this system. I'm here to tell you, you can get the cake and you can eat that sucker. Eat the whole freaking thing right now. And it's the whole principle and system of paying yourself first, being a steward of your money, managing your money. You guys, that is the game here. This is the thing. Either you do or you don't. Either you keep going down the road that you're going down, or you start applying some of these principles. If you want to be financially secure and wealthy, what books are you reading? What courses have you joined? What knowledge and information have you obtained? Are you listening to YouTube videos, podcasts, books, all of those things? Are you investing into yourself? Are you buying and purchasing knowledge to speed the process up? Doing the same thing over and over again is going to get you the same results. So it's time to change. And that was what really hit me. I was like, hey, if I'm going to do this, I got to do it. I got to just start with the $25 a month. Like, in my mind, that doesn't seem like much. But now I look back and I'm like, holy crap. Incredible what it's turned into. So I invite you to go do those things. If you want my, I've already got an Excel sheet you guys can have. It's available. I've created a course in the community. You guys are more than welcome to join that. If you don't, you guys, I've just given you exactly what you're going to get in there. So go build it yourself. Go build the Excel sheet yourself. Income, fixed, variable, add it all up. What's your income minus your expenses? How much is left over? Balance it out. Tell it what to do. Have a purpose and a plan and execute. You guys, I'm telling you, I feel ridiculous almost because it is so simple. I also have a free ebook. If you guys would like the free ebook, message me on like Facebook or Instagram. Just send me a message. My Instagram handle is @RealJaredBriggs. Send me a message and send me a message with your name and your email. I'll put you in and send you guys that free ebook. It's going to take a lot of these things, put them into a text and copy, and you can read these things, okay? You guys, I want you to win with money. I want you to win with money. I want you. I'm speaking to one person right now. I want you to win. Because I know what it feels like to stress and to worry and to watch my mom and dad fight about money and to watch all my grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins and friends and neighbors and people on the internet and people getting divorced because of money. You guys, it freaking sucks. It sucks so bad. The stress and the worry of money is draining. I hate it with a passion. That is why I was so determined, and I'm still determined. I'm going to figure out what it takes to be a good father, to be a good husband, to be a good provider, to be a good leader, to be strong financially, and to not let anybody have control over me. You guys, I'm so freaking determined to make that happen, and I want you to do it too. You guys, what's going on in America? It's crazy. The political bullcrap, it's crazy. And guess what? By us not being independently financially strong, we give the government so much power. Look at COVID. Look at COVID. How many people disagreed? But they're like, man, if I don't get the vaccine, I'm going to lose my job. I can't pay my bills if I lose my job. How much cooler would it have been to be in a position where it's like, no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree because I didn't. I wasn't going to get the freaking vaccine for nothing. I did not agree with it at all. And I'm so glad I owned a business and nobody could make me do it. But I know so many people that they were made to do it. And I even said to some people, they quit. Yeah, but I got to have the money. I'm like, do you have any savings? I can maybe make it a month. I'm like, damn, that sucks. You guys, that sucks. We the people. I love how that has been a part of America since America has been. It's about we the people. So we the people have to get better. What's going to solve all this and make everything better is we the people. We the people have to make it better. So do you want to take control of your life? Do you want to be in control of your life? Do you want to have the financial power within your own self? Then you need to start learning, growing, expanding, and gain knowledge. You need to know what to do. You need to start telling your money what to do and start giving it a purpose so it starts working for you instead of you always working for your money and being out of money and stressed about money. So that's what this is about. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything I can help you with, please message me. Send me a DM on any social media thing, please. I'd love to help you. I'd love to coach you. I'd love to share more with you. I also have a free Facebook page, Win with Money. I'd love for you guys to go check that out. Be a part of it. I'm gonna do a live call every week on that. So I'm just gonna tell you what I've got. I've started a group in a community. It's gonna be a paid place where I'm gonna do a live call every Monday at 11:30. And that live call is gonna be about these topics. We're gonna go into detail. I'm gonna have people come on live. We are going to dive deep into all this financial stuff. So we're gonna do that. Then I also have the course. and you can go through the course at your own speed. Some videos are 6-7 minutes. I think the longest one's 20 minutes. I think the first phase is 12 videos, 13 videos, something like that. I didn't want it to be crazy long. It's all of this stuff broken down into very specific detail. And anybody is welcome to join that. I've got the ebook, I've got that free Facebook group, and then I'm gonna create tons of content like this. You guys, I want to help you. I didn't know what to do. I had no clue what to do. And I've had to figure it out. And so I want to share that with you guys. Thank you for listening. You guys have a wonderful day and win. Go out there and win, and especially win with money.